Title: Shadows of Deception. Chapter 1: The Perfect Illusion. The sun was setting over the city, casting a warm golden hue on everything it touched. I sat on the balcony of my small apartment, a cup of lukewarm coffee in hand, staring blankly at the skyline. Life had once been filled with promise, ambition, and love. That was before she left me for a Yahoo guy. Her name was Chidera, and we had been together for 3 years. We shared laughter, dreams, and a future, until the day I found a text message on her phone that shattered everything. It was a simple, "I miss you," followed by a heart emoji, but it was the sender's name that twisted the knife deeper: Ken. Ken was everything I was not: charismatic, flashy, and, as I later discovered, deeply involved in the murky world of internet fraud. I confronted Chidera, expecting an explanation, perhaps even an apology. Instead, she confessed her growing feelings for him, her voice trembling with a mix of excitement and guilt. "I never wanted to hurt you," she said, tears glistening in her eyes. But as she spoke, I could see the resolve in her demeanor. She had made her choice. Chapter 2: The Descent. Days turned into weeks, and I tried to move on, but Chidera was everywhere. Every corner of the city reminded me of her: the cafe where we first met, the park where we shared our first kiss. I was stuck in a loop of heartbreak, replaying memories like a broken record. It was a month after she left that I first heard the rumors. They trickled in at first, whispers among mutual friends. Ken was not just a Yahoo guy, he was part of a more sinister operation. The stories were murky but chilling: money rituals, human sacrifices, all carried out under the guise of wealth and power. Chidera had always been drawn to the thrill of life, the excitement of fast cars and late-night parties. It wasn't long before the rumors solidified into something more concrete. I heard from a friend that she was pregnant. The news hit me like a tidal wave. My heart sank, not just for the loss of Chidera, but for the child that would be born into this chaos. Chapter 3: The Truth Revealed. One night, unable to sleep, I found myself at a local bar, drowning my sorrows. It was there that I met Eloho, an old acquaintance who had some ties to the underworld that Ken inhabited. As we exchanged stories, I cautiously broached the subject of Ken and Chidera. "I know him," Eloho said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "He's not just about money, he's into some dark stuff. You know, the kind that can cost you your life." "What do you mean?" I pressed, my pulse quickening. "They say he uses women for rituals. He believes it brings him wealth." "Chidera, she might be in over her head," he warned, his expression grave. The words echoed in my mind, a haunting refrain. I could picture Chidera, swept up in a world she didn't understand, entangled with a man whose charm masked a darkness I couldn't fathom. Chapter 4: The Confrontation. The next day, foiled by a mixture of anger and desperation, I sought out Chidera. I needed to warn her, to pull her back from the brink. After hours of searching, I finally tracked her down to a nightclub, pulsating with music and energy. She was dancing, lost in the moment, surrounded by a group of friends. I approached her, grabbing her arm gently. "Chidera, we need to talk." She turned, her eyes wide with surprise and a hint of annoyance. "What are you doing here? Please, just listen. I heard things about Ken. You need to be careful." For a moment, I saw the old Chidera, the one who would listen and understand. But then the flicker died, replaced by defiance. "I don't need your advice. You don't understand anything about my life now." Before I could respond, Ken appeared, wrapping an arm around her waist. "Hey, babe, who's this?" His tone dripped with mockery. I glared at him, feeling the anger rise within me. You're playing with fire, Cain. She doesn't know what she's getting into. Cain laughed, a dark, hollow sound. Let her live, man. She's found something better than what you could offer. Chidera's gaze darted between us, and for a moment, I could see uncertainty flicker in her eyes. But it vanished as she leaned into Cain, the choice made. Chapter 5, The Unraveling. Days turned into weeks, and I watched from a distance as Chidera's life spiraled further into chaos. The once vibrant woman I loved was now a shadow of herself, often seen in Cain's company, attending parties filled with dubious characters. The rumors of rituals grew louder. Stories of women disappearing and reappearing changed, altered. Then, one evening, a friend called me with urgent news. Chidera had been seen at a local shrine, and it didn't look good. You need to do something. I'm worried about her, my friend urged. Foiled by a sense of responsibility, I made my way to the shrine. It was dark, the air thick with incense and whispered prayers. I could see Chidera, her expression vacant, surrounded by Cain and a group of men whose intentions I could not fathom. Chidera, I called out, breaking through the darkness. She turned, and for a fleeting second, her eyes sparkled with recognition. But it was quickly overshadowed by Cain's smirk as he stepped in front of her. Back off, man. You're not welcome here. Ignoring him, I approached Chidera, desperation in my voice. This isn't safe. You need to leave with me. But she shook her head, her eyes dull. I'm fine. This is where I belong now. Chapter 6.